Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I can feel the season changing already, even though it's still brick outside. It's brick, like Brick City. I'm talking capital BRICK brick outside because yes, the season may seem like it's changing, but let me tell you, you guys already heard me complaining about how it was a real feel of 9 degrees in my last episode. Well, guess what? Yesterday and the day before had a wind chill of -3 and -5 degrees. That was a terrible experience, and apparently, according to the news, according to the weather reports, it's gonna stay like that. But I mean, the season is changing, even though it's not gonna get any warmer anytime soon. The sun is actually starting to set later. The days are getting longer. It used to be super dark at like 3 p.m., but now it's still bright around that time, and the sun goes down, I would say about 5ish, 4:45, 5ish. So I'm completely here for that. Anyways, I want to jump right into this episode today because we are back with a new episode for this Tall Girl series. As you can tell by the title, Tall Girl Reacts to Tall Girl Problems. Now, if you are not new here, you already know what's up. You already know the vibe. What is this, my 5th episode? I don't even remember. I already did so much. And this is just yet another one of these. So if you're not new, you already know the vibe. But if you are new here, first of all, hi. Second of all, Tall Girl Reacts to Tall Girl Problems is a series on this podcast where I, a tall girl, basically look through the infamous Tumblr posts of Tall Girl Problems that were from like 2010, 2013, around that time, and I determine whether or not they are relatable. Do tall girls actually go through these problems, or are these just made by some clout chasing shorties who stay in their basement all day? Who knows? Let's find out. First one, taking a bath. Okay, never have I read 3 words in my life and feel so much pain as I do right now. I feel like this is especially true for hotel bathrooms that have tubs in it. There are some that have tubs, there are some that have showers, but I feel like a lot of hotel bathrooms have tubs, baths, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't matter what hotel bathroom you are in. Doesn't matter what hotel bathroom it is. Doesn't matter what hotel it is, I should say. The tubs are always too small for us tall girls. That's part of the reason why I hate taking baths or doing any type of bubble baths of some sort. I only do showers, even though sometimes that's also a struggle. But hey, I gotta wash my body at some point. And honestly, showers are just much better than baths, in my opinion, because of my long limbs. I tried so many times in hotels to, just chill, relax for the night, do a bubble bath, sit in the tub and take a nap like, these people on TV do or whatever. But I physically, I just can't. I'm telling you, it's the most uncomfortable thing ever. Well, one of the most uncomfortable things ever, I should say. My legs, I should say, would be so scrunched up. My knees are outside of the water. Because you know how you warm the water, you want much of your body submerged into there? No, my knees are freezing because they're sticking out of the water. So, and since I don't want to be crunched up, because my limbs start hurting, I try to put the part of my legs that don't fit in the tub over the ledge, and that it would just be a mess. Eventually there would be no circulation in that part of my legs because it's pressing so hard down on the ledge. There's water and soap getting everywhere. It's just a complete disaster. But moral of the story, taking any type of bath that requires sitting down is definitely a tall girl problem. Next one. You can't dry your clothes because they will shorten. Okay, I feel like that depends. Pants, yes, for sure. No doubt about it. Seriously, I feel you. Pants will most definitely shrink if you dry them. I once put my favorite pair of blue jeans in the dryer to dry, silly me, and they came out like capris. You got if you're a tall person listening to this, you know how we feel about capris. We don't like them. They just don't flatter us. They don't look correct on us. The actual disgust and despair I had on my face when I saw my favorite pair of blue jeans ruined. It was terrible. But tops on the other hand, I feel are different. They can still be dried and still fit well, unless it's a really nice sweater. I definitely recommend you don't put them in the dryer. But even if the top does shrink, crop tops are a trend and honestly will forever be a trend. But yeah, pants, jeans, sweaters, definitely hang them up on some type of hanger or clothesline with the clothing pins. Yeah, hang them up to dry. I don't recommend you put them in the dryer. Could not stress that enough. Next one. Being scared to meet a guy in person for the first time because you don't know if he's shorter than you. Okay, that's on meeting anyone in general if you first started speaking to them online, okay? Because things have been remote for what, like 2 years? Everything was online. Well, not everything, almost everything. I started college online, like so many other students. A lot of people started working their first jobs online. People started dating online. Almost everything was being done online. So we're meeting these new people from a literal laptop, and all we can see are their heads. We can't see the rest of their bodies unless they're standing up. And even when they are standing up, you still can't see their entire bodies. So it's kind of hard to judge how tall they are. And it really had me thinking at some point, like, okay, I go to school with these people, and eventually I'll end up seeing them on campus. I'll end up meeting them at some point, hanging out. Would they be surprised by my height? Would I be surprised by their height? So, what I started doing was asking people how tall they are. Yes. Well, obviously, after I got to know them a little bit more, because I don't know, it's weird to just randomly ask somebody their height. Like, let that be the first question that you ask them. I would say probably after 2 or 3 meetings. 2 or 3 meetings, you just randomly ask them their height just cause. And you can even explain to them, like, oh yeah, I really like you. Totally like to meet you one day. But it's also like, how tall are you? Like, I'm just curious. I want to know. And so I did that. I asked them. And so far, everyone that I asked they were all shorter than me. Was I surprised? Absolutely not, because I'm pretty tall. But every time I would tell them my height, which is 5'10", if you don't know, they would all be so surprised. Like, oh my gosh, you're so tall, haha. And I was like, wow, it feels so weird hearing that, like, you're so tall from somebody talking to you on a laptop. I'm just so used to somebody physically standing in front of me and looking me up and down, like, oh my gosh, she's giant. So I feel like hearing that from somebody who's telling you on a laptop is definitely a different vibe. And oh my gosh, one of my classmates actually shouted that in the middle of the hallway. I was going to take my test in person at my school, and he was just sitting on the ground, and I didn't even know that he knew what I looked like. I mean, we were on camera on Zoom, but you know how half the time cameras don't really pick up what we actually look like, our actual features. And I was wearing a mask at that time too. So he could only see half of my face. How did you know it was me right then and there? It was strange. But he literally screamed to me, oh my gosh, you're so much taller than I imagined. Oh my god, the embarrassment on my face. Everybody was staring at me and looking at me. I just felt so weird at first, but I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm tall, and tall is awesome. Tall is beautiful. I'm just gonna rock it. But yeah, if you ever see somebody that you met online and was not aware that they were as tall as they are in person, please do not shout, "Oh my gosh, you're so much taller than I imagined." No, it's terrible. But I'm straying, but that's definitely a tall girl problem right there. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys liked it. As per usual, feel free to hit me up on my socials at a Tall Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. You guys have been doing that lately, and I absolutely love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for all your kind messages, all your funny experiences, all the stories that you've been telling me. I really, really like reading through those and responding to you guys. Of course, leave a like, comment, review, whatever it may be, and let me know what you think of this episode and what you think of this series. All of my information, my socials, my website and blogs, all of that stuff, they're going to be linked below so you can check those out after you finish listening to this episode. And most definitely, if you're new to the Tall Girl Reacts to Tall Girl Problems series, make sure you check out my other 4 parts. I think this is part 5, so make sure you check out all of the other parts and have a laugh, have a doozy, and let me know what you think of those as well. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Good night and goodbye.